I am a Scorpio rising, so I am going to try to do my makeup that is reminiscent or in tandem with my rising sign. I've seen so much of this on this app and I love it because basically you should be doing your makeup like your rising sign or to embody the characteristics of your rising sign, because your rising sign is really what you aspire to be. It is the parts of you that you have hid, that you have felt embarrassed by, that you have tried to hide away because it offended others at some point in your life, and it is fully embodying it and owning it and living from it. And so me being a Scorpio rising has always kind of plagued me my whole life because I'm a Gemini sun and a Sagittarius moon. So I'm very social, I'm outgoing, I am a chameleon, I can get along with anyone. I really think about other people's comfort and their comfortability, especially in like a group setting. I'm very like affable. I can get along with anyone. I've always had a lot of friends. But then what inevitably ends up happening in my friendships is my friends start to become secret haters. And I know that sounds like Regina George, like everybody's jealous of me. But in reality, that is the life of a Scorpio rising. I have these friends that I give my whole heart to, that I really level up for, that I really try to show that I love them at all times and I'm loyal and I prioritize them. And what always ends up happening in many of these cases, like my closest friends, they end up turning on me and finding a reason to walk out of my life and blame me for it. And at first I thought like, oh, I'm just this victim of people and maybe I'm just giving off a different energy than what I'm feeling, because what I'm feeling is just absolute love for my friends and I want to just be there for them. And why is that not coming across? Why do my friends consistently think that I'm their competition? Why aren't they happy for me? Why do they create needless drama when there doesn't need to be needless drama? And what I'm referring to when I say needless drama is I'll get the snide comments off the cuff, trying to kind of put me in my place, like the backhanded digs. And then I'll start to see even more overt signs like them trying to triangulate people against me. Or I was in a friend group last year and this one girl who I really loved and adored, honestly, and we had been friends for a really, really long time. She all of a sudden started to get all the other girls in the group to dislike me. I was like her target, and she was doing it in a really backhanded, passive-aggressive way. So I didn't even realize what was happening to me until I had multiple friends in the group come to me and say, like, just so you know, she said this about you and she's doing this to you. And I was so shocked and so hurt because all I had ever given her was love and friendship and support and loyalty. And I just couldn't understand where it was coming from. And another thing about me is I will just hold on to friendships way longer than I should. Like the minute they show me who they are, I should be walking out the door. But in many cases, my Gemini and my Sagittarius overrule my Scorpio rising, and I ignore red flags and I ignore poor behavior and I make excuses for poor behavior, all in the name of socializing and having friendships and having a big group of friends around me. And I had to get really, really picky in the last year, especially from this situation with my friend, because I realized that she was actually not a friend to me. She was more of an enemy, and she was literally out to get me. It was really, really hurtful, and it taught me a lot. So in this last year, I've been trying to embrace more of my Scorpio rising qualities, because I'm realizing that going from a Gemini Sagittarius standpoint of like always needing to be friends with everyone and like, you know, unifying people and always being in a big group and always being surrounded by people and being the life of the party actually doesn't serve me well, because being a Scorpio rising brings a lot of hate towards you. It brings a lot of people that are just insecure by your mere presence. The minute you walk into the room, they feel triggered for some reason, like your confidence and your dark feminine energy projects back on them their insecurities and their fears, socially especially. And so they will act out of pocket and be mean, like this friend, and try to ruin you because they have literally categorized you as enemy number one. And this is another thing that Scorpio rising folks will understand. So many times people that we deem friends, or maybe that people that aren't even our friends or just like our acquaintances, like we work with them or whatever, the minute we walk into a room, they will deem us enemy number one and they will start acting accordingly. And we don't understand what's going on because we're just out here trying to like be ourselves, and or in my situation, trying to love and unify and just have friends and get along with people. And they will literally deem you enemy number one. And so at that point, you have to embody your dark divine feminine energy and not put up with it and not allow disrespect. And in this last year, I've really tried to cultivate that more. Like the minute I see a sign of disrespect or that somebody is a secret hater, I immediately step away from that relationship and I let the Gemini Sagittarius part of my charting kind of take a back seat, because when you are not owning up to how people are treating you and like planning accordingly, it ends up biting you in the ass. Last thing I want to talk about being a Scorpio rising is I just have innate confidence, and it's been very hard won confidence. I'm not going to say that it came easy to me. It didn't. I spent the first half of my life being very insecure. But the more that I have stepped into and embodied my Scorpio rising and my just divine femininity, my dark femininity, and my power, the more confident I am. And so I'm just naturally very confident. And I think what that leads to is friends and other people that surround you being in competition with you. And you don't even know that they're in competition with you because you're not in competition with anyone. The only person that I'm in competition with is myself. I don't feel jealousy. I used to feel jealousy in the early years of my life because I wasn't fully actualized and I hadn't like really grown to love all the parts of myself. But now at this point in my life, I'm not intimidated by anybody. I'm never jealous of anybody. I have just an innate, very strong self-concept, and I realize that that's rare. Most people in this world are extremely insecure. And so what you will see as a Scorpio rising is people are immediately envious of you, and you've done nothing wrong. Even if you're super kind, it doesn't matter. They will still be envious of you. And these could be your friends. I've had close friends in the last year as I've stepped more into my healing and embodying my Scorpio rising. I've seen them get really threatened and take themselves out of my life because it's too hard for them to stand back and watch me win. And just being in my presence makes them so uncomfortable that they literally take themselves out because they can't do it. And you will have people that are in secret competition with you, and you don't even know that they are until they finally show their face. And you need to immediately axe these people as a Scorpio rising, because there's nothing that you can do to play small or be extra nice that is going to keep them in your good graces. Just by the mere presence of your Scorpio rising alone, they are going to hate you and feel in competition with you. It's really sad and painful to go through, and I think it's something that's very common for Scorpio risings to shed people in their lives when they grow and when they heal. I think Scorpio risings have such a power when it comes to deciding what they want for their lives and who they want to surround them, and when they make the decision, there's no going back. So when a Scorpio rising makes a determination to heal, they are going to do it, and they are going to up-level hard. And what that does is it automatically causes you to have to shed layers of people that aren't here for your happiness, that aren't here to see you win, and that are threatened by your mere presence. So I think part of embodying your Scorpio rising is realizing that being in this situation with your chart is going to require you to do a lot of shedding throughout your life, because as a Scorpio rising, you have so much power and innate capabilities that you have to keep the people around you high vibe and happy and in a good frequency, or they can really bring you down. I'm almost done with doing my Scorpio rising makeup. I'm just adding the final touches. I'm gonna do a darker lined lip and a more nude, sultry inner lip to match that dark yet feminine look of a Scorpio rising. And here I am, all done with my Scorpio rising makeup look.